Hi, families. I'm Kaylee Egley, school counselor at Keene and Cornerstone Elementary Schools. And I'm so glad that you were able to join me today for Coffee with a Counselor Digital Edition. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about anxiety and how you can support your child if they're feeling anxious. And I felt with everything that's been going on in our world today, it might be a good topic to start with for our first edition of Coffee with a Counselor. So at the end, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out through email or a phone call. I would love to talk more. So as we begin, I want to share that and make sure that you know if your child is experiencing some anxiousness or worry, you're not alone. Actually, childhood anxiety is becoming more and more common, with about 4.4 million children between the ages of 3 and 17 being officially diagnosed. So that doesn't include the other children who just experience anxiety periodically. Because childhood anxiety is becoming more prevalent, parents are reaching out to me frequently about ways they can talk to their child and support their child who might have stress or anxiety. So I'm going to share my screen with you with for a PowerPoint here as we go through this. So first, I'm going to talk a little bit about some specific things that you can do as a parent or guardian to help your child manage their anxiety. So one of the most important things to remember when children feel worried or anxious is to not dismiss their feelings. While their feelings might seem a little unwarranted to us, they're very real to the child experiencing them. So just reminding a child that it's okay to feel anxious, we validate their experiences and give them permission to work through it. So, a practical tip for helping children work through their anxiety and to help manage it in a way that doesn't take over their lives is to have them write the worry down. They could place it in a jar, or you could create a worry box together. And so, just you can remind your child when they're feeling a certain way to take a sticky note or a piece of paper, write down or help them write down the worry or anxiety. And then find a time throughout your day or week that it's a safe place for them to talk about that worry together. And when you're finished talking about it, put that worry in that container or rip it up and have your child place it in that worry box. And that's hopefully a visual representation to your child that they have talked about that worry and they can put it away and don't have to keep thinking about it. As you help your child work through their worries, it's important to help your child focus on what they can control. So we talk a lot about this at school is what is your circle of control? Okay. For example, if your child is worried about an upcoming test, remind them that they don't have control over the questions that are going to be on the test, but they can have control over preparing for it. So, lastly, when supporting children who are feeling anxious, it's important to make sure your own anxieties are in check. This is one I have to remind myself of often. Different life circumstances can leave us all feeling anxious, especially with the time that we're living through now in this pandemic. And our kids can pick up on it. So, it's important for us as adults that we're using our own coping strategies and just to be honest and tell kids, I have anxiety and worries too. So when you're talking to your child who's feeling anxious, it can be hard to know what to say. So the most important thing is to remember to validate their feelings. And so this next section talks a little bit about things that you can say to your child and then what not. Some things maybe not what to say. So some great things that you can say to your child when worry and anxiety creep in are, "I'm here for you. Let's work through this together. You're safe. I'm here for you." These statements are simple and they do not fix the problem, but instead it lets them know that they are okay and you're supporting them. On the flip side, it's again important to not be dismissive of their worries. This can make a child feel foolish for sharing his or her feelings, and they might be reluctant to share it in the future. And you really want to create a space that your child feels that they can come anytime and talk to you, and they're not going to get in trouble when they share their feelings. So, another common phrase we want to avoid is stop worrying, or it is almost impossible just to decide to stop worrying. So, unfortunately, worry is not a switch that you can turn on or off. So, although this statement can have positive intentions, it may actually cause the child to feel like a failure because they're unable to stop worrying. So other phrases of maybe not what to say is get over it. This isn't a big deal. I don't understand why you're so worried about it, or it's fine. So again, the best thing is to validate their feelings and work together to help your child manage them. So a great way to do this is by helping your child learn and use some various coping strategies. And when it comes to coping skills, it's crucial to talk about them and practice them. So actually, we do a lot of practice in coping strategies at school. When I go into classrooms and for classroom guidance, we talk about the zones of regulation and identifying their feelings with a color. So red is anger, anxiousness is yellow, calm, happy is green, and then blue is sad, tired, and sick. And so along with that, we teach kids lots of different coping strategies to help them when they're feeling in the different zones. Okay, so a great coping skill for anxiety is deep breathing. And this is one that we practice in lots of different ways. Deep breathing can help your child's body and brain slow down. So this is what I teach kindergartners through fourth graders is take 5 breathing, or we also call this the roller coaster breathing. So you're gonna have them put their hand up like they're giving a high five, and then you're gonna have them start tracing the outsides of their finger. So as you go up the finger or up the roller coaster, you're gonna breathe in through your nose. And then as you go down, breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in and out. And we do this very slowly and calmly, over and down. And we can even close our eyes as we do that. Another idea is establishing a practice of gratitude. So this could be keeping a gratitude journal, just the child, or you could do it as a family. Challenge your child to think of 3 things that they're grateful for or thankful for each day. They do not have to be big things. It can be very small. The sunshine, a special snack that they got to eat that day. But it's important that you read through those and you can keep going back and looking at the gratitude journal. And I had even heard recently that those who keep a gratitude journal are more happy than those who don't, because you can see all the things that you're thankful for. So I thought that was an interesting fact. Another great strategy to remind your child of is talking to an adult. And we talk a lot about that at school, having a trusted adult at home and at school that you can talk to. Journaling or drawing, focusing on what you can control, and getting exercise. So important. Okay, again, the more comfortable your child is with knowing and using their coping strategies, the more they're going to use them and be successful. So, worry and anxiety are normal feelings. However, if your child seems to be worrying constantly and it's starting to affect their functioning of sleep or school, etc., it can be helpful to seek some additional support. So, you could talk to your child's pediatrician, or I can help you get connected to some other resources in the area that can help support your child. So, please remember, you're not alone. Children and families all across the world are dealing with anxiety. Thankfully, there's an increasing number of resources out there to help your child. So I hope that this has been helpful. Coffee with a Counselor, Anxiety Edition. And I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions or concerns. Thanks so much.